Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, September 29th, 2025. MLB, I'll give out my picks for the wild card series in baseball as well. NFL, college football, soccer, WNBA playoffs, Ryder Cup, NASCAR, news and notes, and best bet. Okay, we'll begin with baseball. We'll go over the results from the weekend, and we will look ahead to the wild card series and make the picks. Um, hmm. All right. Friday. Cubs over the Cards 12-1. White Sox over the Nats 10-9. Phillies over the Twins 3-1. Jays over the Rays 4-2. Red Sox over the Tigers 4-3. Marlins over the Mets 6-2. Rangers over the Guardians 7-3. Pirates over the Braves 9-3. Reds over the Brewers 3-1. Angels over the Astros 4-3. Padres over the D-backs 7-4. Dodgers over the Mariners 3-2. A's over the Royals 4-3. Giants over the Rockies 6-3. Saturday, Cubs over the Cardinals 7-3. Jays over the Rays 5-1. Nats over the White Sox 6-5. Giants over the Rockies 4-3. Tigers over the Red Sox 2-1. Yankees over the O's 6-1. Mets over the Marlins 5-0. Twins over the Phillies 5-0. Pirates over the Braves 3-1. Guardians over the Rangers 3-2. Reds over the Brewers 7-4. Padres over the D-backs 5-1. Astros over the Angels 6-1. Dodgers over the Mariners 5-3. Royals over the A's 4-2. Sunday, White Sox over the Nats 8-0. Yanks over the O's 3-2. Red Sox over the Tigers 4-3. Phils over the Twins 2-1 and 10 on a walk-off sac fly by Nicholas Castellanos. Giants over the Rockies 4-0. Royals over the A's 9-2. Jays over the Rays 13-4 as they win the AL East. Astros over the Angels 6-2. Marlins over the Mets 4-0 as the Mets don't make the postseason. Guardians over the Rangers 9-8 and 10 on a walk-off 3-run home run by Brian Raccio as they clinch the AL Central. Brewers over the Reds 4-2 as the Mets don't take advantage there. Padres over the D-backs 12-4. Dodgers over the Mariners 6-1. Braves over the Pirates 4-1, and the Cubs over the Cardinals 2-0. Okay, the series are as followed. In the American League, we have the 4-5 Yankees Red Sox. That's the sexy series. We have Tigers Guardians as your 3-6. In the National League, you have as your 6-3 the Reds Dodgers. And then the 5-4 is Padres Cubs. All right, we'll go by time of the games on Tuesday. So we have the Tigers and the Guardians first. So the Guardians the Tigers are favored -112. The Guardians are -104. So obviously all the games are 3 consecutive days. Same team at home. So best player in the series. I'm gonna say Jose Ramirez. But best pitcher in the series is Trey Skubal. Manager edge, Stephen Vogt or AJ Hinch. I'll go with AJ Hinch based on his history. Bullpen edge, I would say the Guardians. I'm actually going to pick the underdog to win this series because I don't trust the Tigers starting pitching outside of Tariq Skubal. The Guardians are slate dogs -104, and I think they can win 2 games in Detroit, especially if they're all going to be day games. I'm going to say Detroit wins the Scoop Bowl game, but Cleveland wins the series. So, Cleveland Guardians 2-1 plus 255, or 235 is the pick. The favorite outcome is Tigers 2-0 plus 225. Tigers 2-1 plus 320, Guardians 2-0 plus 330. I think that's bizarre. The Guardians in 3 is a better odds than Guardians 2-0 or Tigers. Or I'm sorry, Guardians 2-1 is a better odds wise than Tigers 2-1. But I really like game 1 Detroit, game 2 Cleveland, game 3 Cleveland at plus 420. Because it's Scooble, and then Cleveland has the edge in the rest of the games. So the pick is Guardians at 3. At plus 235. And then Detroit game 1 Cleveland series is plus 420 also, which is pretty much the same number as the other one. Alright, and then 3 o'clock ABC is Padres Cubs. The Cubs are favored minus 125. The Padres are plus 106. Best player in the series. That is a very interesting question. You can make a case for Fernando Tatis Jr. You could argue for a lot of different guys. Manny Machado. Like a lot of the Padre guys have been hurt or whatnot. We can make a case for even some guys on the Cubs. Pete Crow Armstrong had 31 homers this year, although hitting 247, so he has a good WAR. I mean, you could argue for him for best guy in the series. There's a lot of guys. You could make a case for Michael Busch. You can make a case for best guy in the series. Obviously Kyle Tucker, but he's been hurt. Sia Suzuki. But there's a lot of star power in this series. But yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with my Tatis pick for best guy in the series based on the history and whatnot. So what was I saying? Sorry about that. Best pitcher in this series. You can make a case for Nick Pivetta of the Padres. And you could argue Matt Boyd on the Cubs. Or Cade Horton. But for best pitcher, I gotta say, Pavetta's been the best pitcher so far. Although I do like Horton too. So starting pitching, I mean, the Padres do have a lot of big names, but they, like, Yu Darvish has underperformed, Dylan Cease has underperformed. But I give them the edge. I think Nick Pivetta this year, at least. Although I do trust Horton as well. Matt Boyd, too. Bullpen. The Padres really did put together a super bullpen on paper, but the Cubs, in my opinion, have a better bullpen. I mean, Ryan Presley hasn't been lights out, but Brad Keller, Drew Pomeranz, Caleb Thielbar. Managerial edge. I have to give it to Craig Counsell. He's a better manager than who's the Padres manager? Mike Shildt, duh. He's a better manager and has taken lesser Brewers teams further in the postseason, so I have to give Craig Counsell the edge there. And yeah, Padres do have a super bullpen, and they did trade for a lot of guys. But I think the Cubs have arguably the deeper bullpen. And now for the series pick. The Cubs just don't have the experience. They're favored, but with home field, but they just don't have the experience. Like, Manny Machado's been in a lot of big games, so is Tatis. Their manager, I know, Shildt, has faltered in some spots at the Cards in the past, but listen, I won't be surprised at all if the Cubs win the series, just like I won't be surprised if the Tigers win the series. I'm going Padres in 3 games. And that is plus 290. Favorite outcomes, Cubs 2-0 plus 245, then Cubs 2-1 plus 260, then Padres in 3 plus 290, then Padres sweep plus 310. Oh yeah, and I didn't even talk about the starting pitchers for each game. It's Skubal and Gavin Williams. Game 1. Game 2. We really don't know. Or Game 3. And Game 1 is probably going to be Nick Pivetta and Cade Horton, you would think. And then Red Sox-Yankees is the marquee series of round 1. We'll save that for last. Reds-Dodgers will do next. Best player in the series is Shohei Ohtani, duh. Better manager, I gotta be honest with you, Terry Francona's a better manager than Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts, I know, has 2 rings, but he's had some bad postseason moments over years. I think he's the National League's version of Aaron Boone, except with championship rings. That's how I feel about him. I don't think he's that great of a manager. Although, you gotta give credit where credit's due, though. And then, best starting pitcher in this series is Hunter Green, believe it or not, on the Reds. He's better than anyone on the Dodgers. Like, the Dodgers don't have the standout guy like that. Although Yamamoto's great. I trust Yamamoto. And I trust Blake Snell, but Blake Snell's always hurt. So Yamamoto, you can make a case for best pitcher, but Hunter Green's arguably better. And he's more valuable, to be honest. But his issue is that he's always hurt. But yeah, you could definitely make a case for Yamamoto for best pitcher. Better bullpen, Reds, only because the Dodger bullpen has just been out of control, trying to put things together, and that wasn't the case last year when they won the World Series. But that said, I'm picking the Dodgers, and I'm gonna pick the sweep. They're just more talented offensively than the Reds, and that's the big difference in this series. I don't trust the Reds to outscore the Dodgers. They might outpitch them, but I don't know if they'll outscore them. If that makes sense. I mean, I could see their bullpen having moments, the Reds bullpen. But um yeah, Dodgers offense is just by far the best unit in this series with Ohtani and Freeman and Betts. So, and by the way, the Dodgers minus 270, the Reds are plus 215. Dodgers sweep is plus 142. Getting that plus money, I think, is a miracle. Dodgers in 3 is plus 205. Reds in 2 is plus 590. Reds in 3 is plus 420. The fact that the Reds are just slightly over 2-1, I thought the Reds would be a bigger underdog than that. That's weird. All right, last but not least, the best series of the wild card round: Yankees, Red Sox. Yankees are minus 184. Red Sox plus 156. Best guy in the series is Aaron Judge. Noah fans are butts about it. Best player in baseball. He's healthy. He's hitting home runs again. Yeah. Managerial edge has to go to Alex Cora over Aaron Boone. Cora's done a terrific job with this team over the years, and I don't know why people in Boston want to run him out of town, because you can't repeat the same mistake you made. Because remember, they got rid of him because of the cheating thing, and then they rehired him because, that might have been Major League Baseball, to be fair, but the Red Sox did fire him because of that. But if the league just suspended Cora and the Red Sox didn't fire him like they actually did. But yeah, the Red Sox are just a dysfunctional organization. They just happen to have a good year this year, which is good for Alex Cora for his job security. But like I said, they shouldn't move on. He's a good manager. And they're a good offensive baseball team. They've developed a lot of good young talent over the past year or so. Best pitcher in the series, Garrett Crochet has been way better than I thought he was going to be this season. He's a Cy Young candidate. He's the ace of that staff. He's 18 wins. Not that that matters. Him versus Max Fried's really interesting for best pitcher in the series. But I'm going to say Garrett Crochet, but it's close. Better bullpen, Yankee bullpen, even though that has been iffy in the second half of the season. Luke Weaver's not the same guy as last year, although he might be injured. Devin Williams has been a complete bust, although he's had some moments. They've had a lot of injuries in their pen as well. Although Chapman's had a great season, but I don't trust him in the playoffs. He has a history. He has a 1.17 ERA. He might win the Mariano Rivera Award, but he cannot be trusted in the playoffs. I know Weisert's been good. Whitlock's been good. Justin Wilson up and down. There's just a lot of guys I don't trust in the postseason with Boston. But Bednar, I trust Although he's never pitched in a big game in his life because he was on Pittsburgh all those years. So you can make a case Red Sox bullpen has the edge. You can make a case. But the reason why I'm not giving them the edge is because we know Aroldis Chapman's history in the postseason, giving up the grand slam against the Guardians, giving up the walk-off, the Jose Altuve. Like, he's had a bad history. And that's why the Yankee bullpen has an edge in spite of Devin Williams being a flop and Luke Weaver not being the same, although that's close as well. All right, so now the pick for the series. I'm going to go with the Yankees in 3 games. Boston will win 1. Maybe Boston will win game 1. The Yankees win the other 2 games. And to me, why the Yankees get the edge is because they have a deeper rotation than Boston outside of Garrett Crochet. I know Baylow's been good, but I don't trust him in the playoffs. I trust Carlos Rodon more than I trust him. Lucas Giolito's up and down. Luis Heel is just getting back from injury. But yeah, it's because I trust Rodon more than I trust the Red Sox number 2, number 3 starters. And the Aroldis Chapman in a big spot thing makes me nervous. I think this would be a great series. It's obviously the best series. Yankees in 3. Would not be surprised if game 3 ends on a walk-off for the Yankees, which would be amazing because then it would be off of Chapman. But yeah, Chapman is a problem in the playoffs. I don't fucking care what his ERA is in the regular season. I'm taking Yankees in 3. Why are some of the numbers locked right now? People are probably betting. But Yankees 2-1's my pick. But I don't know why all these things are locking right now. But yeah, Yankees in 3 games. Hopefully I get that number soon. I have to move on with the podcast. But yeah, so they're my picks. 2 favorites and 2 dogs. Okay, we'll move on to the NFL. We'll go over all the results from Sunday and look ahead to Monday. I'm sorry, I'm just discombobulated here. So yesterday's results: Steelers over the Vikings 24-21, Giants over the Chargers 21-18, and Jackson Dart's first start. Texans over the Titans 26-0. Falcons over the Commanders 34-27. Bills over the Saints 31-19. Eagles over the Bucks 31-25. Lions over the Browns 34-10. Patriots over the Panthers 42-13. Jaguars over the 49ers 26-21. Rams over the Colts 27-20. Chiefs over the Ravens 37-20. Bears upset the Raiders 25-24. As Josh Blackwell blocks the field goal at the end of the game. That was a crazy ending in Vegas. And the Cowboys and Packers ends in a 40-40 tie, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, Monday Night Football, 7:15, ESPN, Jets, Dolphins, battle of 0-3s. Mine's Dolphins 4.5, total 52.5, and oh, by the way, that Yankee 2-1 is plus 235. Yankee sweep is plus 172. That's ridiculous. Like, they should be over 2-1. Like, that's disrespectful to the Red Sox. But at the same time, you guys know my feelings. Dolphins are 2.5, totals 44.5. I love the over. That is way too low. The Jet defense stinks. Miami's offense has been better since the debacle in week 1 as well. So I really like the over a lot in that game. And then 8:15 on ABC, Bengals Broncos. This is going to be the Buck and Aikman game. This was a better game before the season when Joe Burrow was still healthy, because it would have been Burrow and the Bengals against the Broncos in that defense. That's Broncos 8.5, total 46 and forfeits. And it's 7.5 and 44.5. I like the over 44.5. I just think the Bengals defense is that bad. And I think this is a good opportunity for the Bronco offense to get itself going. Okay, now we'll move on to college football. We'll go over the results from the weekend. A lot of interesting results, obviously. Friday, Virginia upsets number 8 Florida State 46-38 in double overtime. Arizona State defeats number 24 TCU 27-24. Houston over Oregon State 27-24 in overtime. Saturday, number 1 Ohio State over Washington 24-6. Number 6 Oregon over number 3 Penn State 30-24 in double overtime. Number 13 Ole Miss over number 4 LSU 24-19. Number 17 Alabama over number 5 Georgia 24-21. Number 9 Texas A&M over Auburn 16-10. Number 11 Indiana over Iowa 20-15. Number 14 Iowa State over Arizona 39-14. Number 15 Tennessee over Mississippi State 41-34 in overtime. Number 16 Georgia Tech over Wake Forest 30-29 in overtime. Number 18 Vanderbilt over Utah State 55-35. Number 20 Missouri over UMass 42-6. Number 23 Illinois over number 21 USC 34-32. Number 22 Notre Dame over Arkansas 56-13. Number 25 BYU over Colorado 24-21. Minnesota over Rutgers 31-28. Duke over Syracuse 38-3. Louisville over Pitt 34-27. Cincinnati over Kansas 37-34. Kansas State over UCF 34-20. North Texas over South Alabama 36-22. Ohio over Bowling Green 35-20. Central Michigan over Eastern Michigan 24-13. James Madison over Georgia Southern 35-10. Yale Monroe over Arkansas State 26-18 or 28-16. Northwestern over UCLA 17-14. Cal over BC 28-24. Baylor over Oklahoma State 45-27. Utah over West Virginia 48-14. West Virginia, I'm never betting them again this season. Like, they screwed me over twice. UConn over Buffalo 20-17. San Diego State over Northern Illinois 6-3. That's ugly. Navy over Rice 21-13. Toledo over Akron 45-3. Miami of Ohio over Lindenwood 38-0. New Mexico over New Mexico State 38-20. Hawaii over Air Force 44-35. Tulane over Tulsa 31-14. Kennesaw State over Middle Tennessee 24-16. Old Dominion over Liberty 21-7. Western Michigan over Rhode Island 47-14. Virginia Tech over NC State 23-21. Southern Miss over Jacksonville State 42-25. Western Kentucky over Missouri State 27-22. Memphis over FAU 55-26. Wazoo over Colorado State 20-3. Stanford over San Jose State 30-29. Boise State over App State 47-14. South Carolina over Kentucky 35-13. Louisiana over Marshall 54-51 in double overtime. And Louisiana Tech over Utah 30-11. Okay, now we'll move on to soccer. I'm going to rapid fire these results big time. And then I don't think there's much today. All right, so Friday, La Liga, Girona, Espanyol, 0-0 draw. Bundesliga, Bayern over Bremen, 4-0. Women's League, Gotham over Portland, 3-0. KC over Chicago, 4-1. Orlando over San Diego, 2-1. Liga MX, FC Girardins over Lyon, 2-0. French League 1, Marseille over Strasbourg, 2-1. ELC, Leicester City, West Brom, 1-1 draw. Dutch Eredivisie, FC 20 over Fortuna, 3-2. Pro League, Al Hazim loses to Al Ali 2-0. El Ettifaq over Damac 3-1. Al Nasser over Al Ittihad 2-0. The Scottish Cup, Alcanluck over Comnock 2-1. And Cumberland over Glasgow 4-0. The French Premier League, Paris FC over Saint Etienne 2-0. USL, North Carolina over Miami 1-0. El Paso, Rhode Island 2-2 draw. League 1, Knoxville over Charlotte 1-0. All right, Saturday. The Premier League, Brentford over Man United 3-1. Chelsea over Brighton and Hove 3-1. Crystal Palace over Liverpool 2-1. Leeds, AFC Bournemouth 2-2 draw. Man City over Burnley 5-1. Sunderland over Nottingham 1-0. Tottenham, Wolverhampton 1-1 draw. And in La Liga, Getafe, Levante 1-1 draw. Madrid over Real Atletico Madrid over Real Madrid 5-2. Mallorca over Alaves 1-0. Villarreal over Athletic Club 1-0. Bundesliga, FC Heidenheim over Augsburg 2-1. Borussia over Mainz 2-0. Leverkusen over St. Pauli 2-1. RP Leipzig over Wolfsburg 1-0. And Frankfurt over Magenblock 6-4. MLS, Toronto, Miami 1-1 draw. Montreal over Charlotte 4-1. Union over DC United 6-0. New England over Atlanta 2-0. NYCFC over Red Bulls 3-2. Chicago over Columbus 2-0. Nashville over Houston 3-1. LAFC over St. Louis 3-0. Colorado, Minnesota 1-1 draw. Real Salt Lake over Austin 3-1. Galaxy over Sporting KC 4-1. Portland, Dallas 2-2 draw. San Jose over San Diego 1-0. And Seattle, Vancouver 2-2 draw. Women's Soccer League, Louisville over Angel City 1-0. Utah over Bay FC 2-0. Liga MX, Atlas over Necaxa 3-2. Pachuca over Athletic San Luis 2-1. Guadalajara over Puebla 2-0. Monterrey over Santos 1-0. Toluca over Mazatlan 3-1. America over UNAM 4-1. Serie A, Como, Cremonese 1-1 draw. Juventus Atalanta 1-1 draw. Inter over Cagliari 2-0. League 1, Lorient over AS Monaco 3-1. Toulouse Nantes 2-2 draw. PSG over Auxerre 2-0. ELC, Coventry over Birmingham 3-0. Swansea Millwall 1-1 draw. Wrexham Derby County 1-1 draw. Charlton over Blackburn 3-0. Ipswich over Portsmouth 2-1. Sheffield United over Oxford 1-0. Bristol City Preston 0-0 draw. Sheffield Wednesday and Rangers 1-1 draw. Borough Southampton 1-1 draw. Norwich City Stoke City 1-1 draw. And Watford over Hull City 2-1. Dutch Eredivisie, Ajax over NAC Breda 2-1. Volendam over PC Zwolle 2-1. PSV over Excelsior 2-1. And Heracles Sparta, Heracles wins 3-0. Super League, Aston Villa, Arsenal 1-1 draw. Premiership, Celtic Hibernian 0-0 draw. Kilmarnock over Dundee 2-0. Hearts over Falkirk 3-0. St. Marion over Dundee 2-0. Motherwell over Aberdeen 2-0. USL, Louisville over Detroit 1-0. Indy over Tulsa 2-1. Hartford over Colorado Springs 2-0. San Antonio, Birmingham 0-0 draw. Monterey Bay over Sacramento 1-0. Orange County, Charleston 2-2 draw. Oakland, Phoenix 3-3 draw. League 1, Portland over Texoma 1-0. Union over Chattanooga 3-0. Naples over AV Alta 4-0. South Georgia over Richmond 4-2. And Greenville over Spokane 1-0. And then yesterday, Premier League, Aston Villa over Fulham 3-1. Arsenal over Newcastle 2-1. La Liga, Sevilla over Real Valenciano 1-0. Elche over Celta Vigo 2-1. Barcelona over Real Sociedad 2-1. Real Betis over Osasuna 2-0. Bundesliga, FC Freiburg, TSG Hoffenheim 1-1 draw. Stuttgart over Cologne 2-1. Hamburg, Union Berlin 0-0 draw. MLS, Cincinnati, Orlando 1-1 draw. Women's League, Washington over Houston 4-0. Seattle over North Carolina 2-1. Liga MX, Tigres over Querétaro 2-0. Tijuana over Cruz Azul 2-0. Serie A, Sassuolo over Udinese 3-1. AS Roma over Verona 2-0. Pisa, Fiorentina 0-0 draw. Lecce, Bologna 2-2 draw. Milan over Napoli 2-1. French League 1, Paris, Nice 1-1 draw. Brest over Angers 2-1. Lille loses to Lyon 1-0. La Racing, Metz 0-0 draw. Rennes, Lens 0-0 draw. Dutch Eredivisie, NEC Nijmegen over AC Alkmaar 2-1. Feyenoord over FC Groningen 1-0. FC Utrecht, Heerenveen 2-2 draw. Telstar over Go Ahead Eagles 4-2. Scottish Premiership, Rangers over Livingston 2-1. USL, Loudoun, Tampa 2-2 draw. Pittsburgh over Vegas 1-0. New Mexico over Lexington 2-1. And League 1, Forward Madison over Westchester 1-0. All right, not a lot of soccer today. Premier League's going on right now. Everton, West Ham. Serie A, we have a final. Parma over Torino 2-1. And Genoa, Lazio's going on right now. And in Scottish Cup going on now. Sterling and Bruntsland. Tomorrow's a busy soccer day. We have Champions League. Tomorrow I'm just gonna pick the 12:45 games, and I'll try to record the show before 3 so I can get them in. So the 12:45, Atalanta Club Brugge. Atalanta minus 120, Brugge plus 300, draw plus 290. I'm going to do over 3.5 goals plus 146. And Carriot Real Madrid. Real Madrid minus 1250, Carriot 30-1, the draw's 11-1. I'm going to go under 3.5 goals plus 110. La Liga, 2 o'clock of Valencia, Real Oviedo. Valencia minus 150, Oviedo 5-1, the draw's plus 250. Over 2.5 goals plus 130. And then we have an MLS game on Tuesday, but we'll pick that on that show. We have ELC too, but that's 2:45. I think I'm going to pick those on tomorrow's show. Okay, now we will do the WNBA playoffs. We will go over the results and look at I don't even know when the next set of games are. I mean, it might be tonight, might be tomorrow. We'll find out. All right, Friday. Aces over the Fever 84-72 to go up 2-1, and the Mercury over the Lynx 84-76 to go up 2-1. And then the Fever beat the Aces 90-83 to tie up that series at 2 apiece. And the Mercury beat the Lynx 86-81 to win that series in 4 games. So the Lynx are eliminated. You're 1 seed out of the WNBA playoffs. And we have a Game 5 between Aces and the Fever on Tuesday night, which is going to be a great game. Okay, now we will do the Ryder Cup. We'll talk about how that played out. Europe wins the Ryder Cup 15-13. A lot of people thought that Europe was going to win, including myself. I just thought they were deeper than U.S. U.S. was more top-heavy, and Europe was deeper. So, Rahm and Hatton over DeChambeau and Thomas 4-3. Aberg and Fitzpatrick over Scheffler and Henley 5-3. McIlroy Fleetwood over Morikawa and English 5-4. And then Schauffele and Cantlay 2 up on McIntyre and Hovland. That was Friday morning foursomes. And then afternoon, Rahm and Straka 3-2 over Scheffler and Spawn. Fleetwood and Rose 1 up on Griffin and DeChambeau. Young and Thomas 6-5 over Aberg and Holjard. McIlroy, Lowry, and Burns Cantlay halved. And then Saturday, DeChambeau and Young 4-2 over Fitzpatrick and Aberg. McIlroy and Fleetwood 3-2 over English and Morikawa. Rahm and Hatton over Schauffele and Cantlay 3-2. McIntyre and Hovland 1 up over Henley and Scheffler. And then the 4-ball, McIlroy and Lowry 2 up over Thomas and Young. Fleetwood and Rose 3-2 over Scheffler and DeChambeau. Spawn and Schauffele 1 up over Rahm and Straka. Hatton and Fitzpatrick 1 up on Burns and Cantlay. Scheffler had a good day. And then Sunday, individuals. So Cam Young 1 up on Justin Rose. Justin Thomas 1 up on Tommy Fleetwood. Matt Fitzpatrick half Bryson DeChambeau. Scotty Scheffler 1 up on Rory. Aberg 2-1 over Patrick Cantlay. Xander Schauffele 4-3 over John Rahm. JJ Spawn 2-1 over Sepp Straka. Shane Lowry, Russell Henley halved. Ben Griffin 1-up. Rasmus Holzgaard. Tyrell Hatton halved. Colin Morikawa. Robert McIntyre halved. Sam Burns. Harry English halved. Victor Hovland. And that's where the 13 came from. U.S. did a good comeback effort on Sunday. But all the halves, I think, were a big difference in Europe's win. So congrats to Europe. And U.S. really made it interesting on Sunday, and I give Scheffler and company credit for that. Okay, now we'll move on to NASCAR. We will go over the weekend's result. We just had Xfinity and Cup this weekend. Xfinity, your winner was Brandon Jones. Second was Connor Zilch. Third, Austin Hill. Fourth, Sammy Smith. Fifth, Sheldon Creed. Sixth was Tanner Gray. Seventh was Jesse Love. Eighth, Nick Sanchez. Ninth, Brendan Queen. 10th, Dean Thompson. The rest, William Sawalik, Danny Dye, Justin Allgaier, Christian X, Carson Kvapel, Sam Meyer, Kyle Sieg, Roger Carruth, Ryan Sieg, Harrison Burton, Leyland Honeyman, Patrick Starpoli, Matt DiBenedetto, Josh Williams, Anthony Alfredo, Ryan Ellis, Parker Retzlaff, Brendan Poole, Austin Green, Jeb Burton, Mason Massey, Jeremy Clements, Joey Gase, Garrett Smithley, Cole Ross, Blaine Perkins, Justin Bonsnor, Nick Leitz, and Patrick Starpoli. I don't know why he's listed twice. He came in 22nd. All right, the Cup Series was yesterday afternoon. Your winner was Chase Elliott. Second, Denny Hamlin. Third, Chris Bell. Fourth, Chase Briscoe. Fifth, Bubba Wallace. Sixth, Kyle Larson. Seventh, Tyler Riddick. Eighth, Brad Keselowski. Ninth, William Byron. 10th, Shane Van Gisbergen. The rest, Ross Chastain, Todd Gilliland, Ty Dillon, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Justin Haley, Kyle Busch, Cole Custer, Joey Logano, Riley Herbst, Noah Gragson, Ryan Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Preece, Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman, Carson Oswald, Austin Cindric, Zane Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, Josh Berry, J.J. Yeley, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., A.J. Allmendinger, and Cody Ware. Okay, I'm going to do a quick round of the news and notes. So, Roquan Smith's out a few weeks for the Ravens. Grade 2 hamstring. That's not good. Lamar couldn't finish the game, as he says there's no way he could have played through hamstring injury against the Chiefs. So now we know he's not healthy. Nate Wiggins exited the game against the Chiefs as well. Elbow injury. Wow, the Ravens have a ton of injuries. Lamondre Matabuke is out for the season. Neck injury, that's brutal. Maybe that's the year from hell team, and we all thought it was going to be the Chiefs or the Lions. And then Marlon Humphrey exited the game because of a calf injury. Eagles defensive end Ogbo Okoronkwo, torn triceps, likely out for the season. Darnell Mooney was ruled out for the game against the Commanders with a hamstring injury. Cedric Tillman, hamstring injury, ruled out for the rest of the game. Calvin Austin was hospitalized after injuring his shoulder against the Vikings. The Mets obviously missed the playoffs. Stephen Cohen had an apology to Mets fans. He posted after an unacceptable season. I agree with him. It was unacceptable. You freaking collapsed at the end of the season. And now you're getting the finger pointed at you because you're the owner of the team, and your GM was overrated, probably, because he was in a small market where no pressure. And in Mendoza, who I think did good last year and the beginning of this year, I think he's in trouble. I mean, he's probably coming back, which I think he should get brought back, because that isn't very fair that the pitching stunk. That wasn't his fault. The GM brought in those guys and they've all stunk. And I'm not suggesting that Stearns should lose his job, but he's certainly on the hot seat as well. And the irony is that the Mets are not finger pointing as no animosity among players on how season finished. And Pete Alonso is opting out. That was announced right away. The San Francisco Giants fired Bob Melvin after missing the playoffs for the second season in a row. I don't agree with this move at all. The San Francisco Giants are a dysfunctional freaking mess. Like, you change managers left and right. What do you expect, to win the World Series? Like, they're foolish for thinking that because they're in the same division as the Dodgers and the Padres, and even the Diamondbacks have more talent than them, and they're just an organization that continuously lives in the past, thinking that Justin Verlander's still this freaking ace pitcher. He's not, and now you blame the manager. Like, see ya. We know you had success with Oakland, but see ya. But I think that's ridiculous. And now a good manager is available for someone like the loser of the Yankee Red Sox series to potentially hire if that manager gets fired for Aaron Boone more so than Cora. But yeah, Bob Melvin's going to find himself elsewhere again. That's not fair to him. I think that's a bad firing by the San Francisco Giants, and I think that was a mistake. Alex Cora says that Lucas Giolito is not on the wild card roster because of an elbow issue. That's not good for the Red Sox. That makes me feel better about my Yankees pick, but I did say Yanks in 3 with thinking that they'd win the crochet start. But now that weakens their pitching, and if the Yankees win game 1, they're probably going to sweep. Like, this is a big injury for the Red Sox. Like, they cannot afford to lose the depth pieces that were actually okay behind Garrett Crochet in their rotation. I still thought their rotation was weak, but now it's weaker. Victor Wembanyama grew 1 inch. That doesn't surprise nobody. Nikola Jokic is committed to the Denver Nuggets as he shuts down any ideas of entering free agency. So Gary Payton and Melton are going back to the Warriors, and they have deals with the team. Jonathan Kuminga to skip media day. Well, this has been drama all summer long with Kuminga. LeBron James is not waiting on his second son, Bryce, as he makes his retirement timeline clear. Anthony Davis to wear protective eyewear. Jason Kidd says that Kyrie's not in rehab as he pumps brakes on Irving's ACL recovery being ahead of schedule. Jason Tatum says no pressure to return. We have no time to do the AP poll. Giants owner John Mara announces that he has cancer as he releases a statement announcing diagnosis and treatment plan. That's sad. You don't want anything like this to happen to anybody. Thoughts and prayers go to John Mara. That was news in the last hour. Malik Neighbors tore his ACL, will miss the rest of the season as a brutal blow for Jackson Dart and the Giants. The Giants did it without him yesterday. Let's be honest. Malik Neighbors had zero impact on that game. I mean, that was more because of the injury more than anything, but they still won without him yesterday, although long-term that is a big loss for the Giants, and now they should be... I know people are going to kill them if they make a win-now move because they're not good, but you also want to develop your young quarterback. So if I'm them, I try to get Jerry Jeudy from Cleveland, or if Tennessee blows it up, maybe you can get Calvin Ridley or somebody like that. to help the development of dart. Odell Beckham says get rid of turf fields, which he ain't wrong. Everybody seems to be turning their ACL and Achilles is at MetLife with him and Rodgers. Jackson Dart says Brian Daboll's quote after win would not be appropriate to share. That's funny. Micah Parsons pissed off after the tie. He's unhappy with defense after giving up 40 points to the Cowboys. That's just crazy. That game ended in a tie. And Micah Parsons also calls out Jerry Jones. Brian Callahan was mad at the reporters. He wasn't having it after falling to 0-4. Cam Robinson got traded to the Browns for a late round pick swap, so the Texans are still shuffling their offensive line. Juju Watkins missed the season to focus on her rehab. That is a brutal loss for women's college basketball and for USC. But obviously Juju wants to be healthy for when she goes to the WNBA. So Arkansas fired Sam Pittman and they clear out their staff too. So Bobby Petrino is parting ways with DC Travis Williams and 2 others. So EA was sold for $55 billion as EA was bought by Saudi Arabia's public fund Silver Lake and Affinity Partners. Okay, now I'm about to go on a rant. Bad Bunny named the Super Bowl halftime show performer. Really? Bad fucking Bunny in the year of your 60th Super Bowl? You named Bad Bunny the halftime performer? Like, no offense to Bad Bunny, but there were better options on the table. You did rap last year with Kendrick Lamar, and I know the kids are gonna love it just like they loved Kendrick Lamar, but like, you should have went with somebody that deserves it. Not, like I said, like, no offense to Bad Bunny, but there are better deserving candidates than Bad Bunny. Like, Lady Gaga, I think should have been on the top of the list. I know she did it already, but she should have been right there. Pink, who's never done it, I think should have been the pick because Pink is a phenomenal performer and one of the more underrated artists of her generation. Justin Timberlake, I know, did it already, but he should have been on the table. Beyonce and Bruno Mars already did it, so they already done it twice in the last decade, so they should have been really not been on the table. And of course, the fiance of Travis Kelce, where was she? I can't believe I'm saying that, but I thought it was a no-brainer. It was going to be Taylor, but I guess Taylor declined. And she probably didn't want all the attention and the hysteria. So I kind of don't blame Taylor for denying, but Taylor would have been a better option. And what about Justin Bieber? I know he's going through some stuff personally right now, but like, he would have been a better option than Bad Bunny. Like, Justin Bieber's matured. He, I think, has kind of become underrated, to be honest with you, and that's probably because of Taylor, but Miley Cyrus, how about her? Like, could you imagine her singing Flowers on the stage and maybe a performance of her and her father as a surprise guest? Like, that would have been fantastic if it was Miley Cyrus. Or what about country? Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen was a hot name, rumored. I would have been fired up for Morgan Wallen. Like, he would have been great with Last Night and all of his great hits. And Luke Combs, I think, they missed the boat on that. Like, I think Luke Combs would have been perfect. I think Luke Combs or Pink should have been the halftime show performer. Like, realistically. Should have been one of those two. Because, Luke could have sang Beautiful Crazy. She Got the Best of Me. When It Rains, It Pours. Like, there's a lot of songs that Luke could have done. And he could have done Fast Car with Tracy Chapman, although they did that at the Grammys together. But they could have done it again. I think fans would have loved to see Tracy Chapman. But, yeah. The NFL, poor choice. Because there are way better options than Bad Bunny. Juan Soto still believes in the vision with the Mets after missing the postseason. Everybody's killing Juan Soto, and rightfully so. Of course, it's all the Yankee fans being like, yeah, see what that did, and we made the playoffs without you and almost won the division without you. And by the way, about the Yankees, if they had Garrett Cole the whole season, they would have won the division by 5 games if Garrett Cole was there. Because that injury decided the AL East, let's be honest. I know the Blue Jays, give them credit, took advantage, and they have a good offense, but the Yankees are the better team and would have been definitively better if they had Garrett Cole. Okay, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to football, and I'm going with the over in the Dolphin-Jet game. I think that is too low. The Jets' defense stinks. Miami's offense, outside of week 1's actually not been a train wreck. And even the Jet offense twice has been competent. So I'm going to go over 44.5 in Jets Dolphins for my best bet. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, look ahead to everything tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to do power rankings tomorrow. Maybe I'll do the baseball end of the year power rankings to see what does each playoff team have to do to consider their season to be a success, and same for the teams that obviously got eliminated in their verdict as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.